Dear learners, welcome to NIOS, the video series. The subject is Home Science, lesson number 21. The title is, as you can see from the picture in the PPT, Concerns and Issues of Human Development. Be it health related or different psychological, mental, etc. development related concerns. Before discussing the chapter, let's discuss some new words in Indian Sign Language. Study, a devotion of time of gaining knowledge in a subject. Age, the length of time that a person has lived, the different age groups. Children, a young human being below the age, be it rich children, poor children, middle-aged children, men or male or female. Child is one single, and when you add children, it becomes many children. Development is a process that creates growth, mental development, physical development, etc. Adequate, sufficient for a specific need. Environment, the surroundings or conditions in the world, be it trees, the nature, water, people, animals, everything come under the environment. Full, that is the sign name for full. For example, the petrol that is complete in a car, it's full. Notebook is full, different kinds of aspects. Indian is a person who's from India, following its people, customs, languages. India is the country, Indian is a person living in that country or from that country. Families, a group of parents, etc. Parents, children, their grandchildren, wives, husbands, and elongated family members are families living together. School, an institution of educating children. Social, relating to society or it's an organization, be it your neighbors, the marketplace, something that's close to you and it's a society. Different, it means not the same as each other, unlike in form or quality. As you can see from the picture, everyone's looking different. The gender, the clothing style, etc. Parents, a person's father or mother. Parent is a single person, be it a father or a mother, but parents, when it becomes both the father and the mother. Suffer, an experience of being subjected to something bad or unpleasant, be it an accident or something that's painful. Start, to begin, like we start a race on the count of 3 or starting a book to read, beginning a book to read. Special, better, greater or otherwise different than the usual. For example, special food, special event, etc. Find, to discover or to perceive. Help, to make it easier or possible. If someone is having financial issues, we provide some assistance or support in that. That's called helping a person. Against, to fight against, to fight against something. Labor, to work, especially physical work. Different people are doing different jobs, as you can see from the picture. That's called labor. You'll know more about it in the chapter. Problem, a matter or a situation. For example, a problem comes in your laptop. Then you have to, derive a solution. As you can see from the picture, you have to derive a solution to solve that issue that's coming. So, problem that occurs and then you provide a solution to it. Suggest, to put forward or give a consideration. For example, there's a meeting going on and you give your suggestions, you put forward your considerations. Guidelines. As you can see from the picture, the rules, etc. Rules, principles, or piece of advice that is given. For example, this guide is giving guidelines for the safari. Physical, relating to the body. Living somewhere, to live somewhere and earning there. Small, a size that is less than usual. For example, a small chair, a small pen, small amount of food, something that's less. Household, something that's pertaining to the house. The occupants that are regarded as a unit of the house, like blender, mixer, toaster, etc. As you can see from the pictures. Fail and pass, the two different things. Fail means to be unsuccessful in something. As you can see that the person is not able to aim his target. He's missing out on target and he's being unsuccessful at that. So different places where you get unsuccessful means to fail. Whereas pass means when you're able to hit your target and achieve your goal. That means to pass. So these are two opposite words. Scold, to rebuke angrily, to be angry. Like you can see in the picture, the mother's getting angry on the kid. The father can also get angry. Anybody can get angry and scold. Result, that means the consequence or an outcome is called a result. Many and few, the two different things. Many is a large number. As you can see, there's a large number of fruits. Few is a small number. As you can see from the picture, few number of fruits. So that's the opposite, many and few. Difficult, needing a lot of effort to accomplish. Something that's a difficult task. Reading, the action or the skill of reading. To read something like a newspaper or a book, etc. Country, let me explain. For example, India is a country. It has different states, etc. So they are called the states. They have their own territories in India. Country is a whole that consists of all the states. There are so many countries in the world with their own particular territory. Habits, something that's something you're used to, a usual manner of behavior. For example, jogging in the morning is a habit. Someone who likes to laugh a lot is a habitual person. Depend, a control or to be determined of. Someone who is dependent on someone. It's not helping. It's like it's asking to support at that time. Fall sick, it means that if a person is falling sick, because of some disease or anything. Doctor, a person who's qualified to treat ill people and provides medicines, etc. Good health. It means a health of complete physical mental and social well-being. The opposite of good health is poor health, the condition of inability to perform physically, mentally, or socially. Importance of great significance or value. Attend, to be present at an event, a meeting, or a function, to come somewhere. For example, attending a meeting, going to school and giving attendance. Early and late, they are two different terms. Early means to be before, the usual time. A person who's before, if you're asked to come at 10 but you reach at 9:30. Whereas late is something that's taking place after the expected or usual time. If you're expected to come at 10, you coming at 10:15 is being late. So these are two opposites, early and late. Education, the process of receiving systematic instruction in school or university. Aware, to be cognizant, conscious, to know what's the right thing. Understand, to perceive the intent of meaning. For example, hearing people, when they're speaking and you first understand what they're trying to say and then you respond. For example, for deaf, it's the sign language you understand and then you respond in sign language. Remember, I told you problem, this is solution. Providing or dealing with a situation, a difficult situation, is providing a solution. Attitude, a settled way of thinking or feeling about something. Some people have good attitude, some people have bad attitude, who are really mean and cruel. So it can be both good or bad, good attitude or bad attitude. Remember that. Stories, a part in which people are telling about themselves. Like, for example, in this picture you can see the grandma is telling about her past stories, or something that is fiction can also be called story. If you say story, it's singular, and stories are many stories. Behavior, the way in which one acts or conducts themselves. In wrong, you can see bad behavior. In good, in the green, you can see good behavior. For example, some people, don't behave well. They have bad behavior. Accept, to give consent or receive something. Firstly, you listen to the right thing, and if you feel it's right, you accept it, and if you feel it's not right, you don't accept it. In red, you don't accept. In green, you accept. Violence, the behavior or intent to physical force, beating, for example, violence in the house, domestic violence, etc., beating, etc. We'll have more about it in the chapter. Consider, to think carefully about something before making a decision. Telling, lie, to make an untrue statement with the intent that you're deceiving someone. Suicided, the act of killing yourself intentionally. Comfort, feeling a physical ease, like you can see in the picture, a person's, she's sitting with a cup of coffee and is warm, and she's sitting in a comfortable position. So that's comfort. Steal, to take away something without permission, and this is illegal. Encourage, to give support, confidence and hope for growth. For example, parents, they support their children, so they encourage their children for better growth. Now that you have learned the words, let's begin the chapter in part 1. Let's begin. Let me give you an introduction to this chapter. In home science as a subject, in the past lessons you have learned a lot about money management, food management, family relations, education, so many things. There are still a lot of problems in India, especially with children. They don't develop themselves completely, be it health-wise, mentally, etc. There are so many social acts that are leading to these problems. It could be because of poverty, they are abandoned, or they are not educated, they are not going to schools. A lot of issues pertaining to children are there. We'll know more about it in this lesson. Let's begin from discrimination against girl child. As you can see in the PPT, in India, there's high level of discrimination against females, against women. Lot of people are not pro-women. Let me tell you a real story. A girl named Seema. Seema is 10 years old. Her family, she has 2 siblings, and she wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day. Seema wakes up. Why? Because she has to clean the house, cook for the house, clean everything she does for the house, for her family. And we have to remember she is a little girl. Whereas the 2 brothers are allowed to go to school and get educated. The brothers themselves are not even interested, but they are, they are encouraged to go to school. Whereas Seema wants to go to school, but she's forced to stay at home and work at house. She has to suffer so much, whereas you see both the brothers are allowed to go. What do you feel about this story? There are so many Seemas in the world, so many Seemas in India who are facing such an issue. As you can see from the PPT, when people get to know that a baby girl is going to be born or a baby girl is born, nobody is happy about it. Nobody encourages her to get educated, or she is abandoned so many times. What is the fault of the baby girl? Nobody likes her. People, every time they want a son and not a daughter. It's been such a custom in India. They have been sad, they've been discriminated, but accepted all this. Why? Because they're not aware. Adding to the same, let me ask you something. Who takes, the food in the family first? When there are male members also, female members also, be it dal, rice, vegetables, chapatis, when the food is prepared, who eats the food first? It's given to women? No, it's given to men. It's given to the husband, it's given to the son. Once they have eaten, the leftovers are given to the women. That's what happens. Whereas the food is cooked by the woman herself. She takes less food and she undergoes lack of nutrition. She is not given the same kind of food she should be given, according to her body type. She's only given the leftovers in India. And because of that, her health gets weaker. She is very weak. And this is not just one case, there are many cases. When a girl child is born, you won't believe that she is not even breastfed as much as she should be. Whereas when it's for the boy, he's breastfed the right amount. The women are not done, justice to. The life of a girl in India is very difficult. It's a harsh reality. Be it children, girl children, etc. It's important that everyone is taken care of, their healths are taken care of. Lot of time, girls are not fed well and they become weak. Even basic nutrition, health facilities are denied to them. They're not taken to the doctors when they fell sick. They're not told about what things are. So girl child is harshly discriminated in India. Even in schools you will see You will see more boys attending schools, not the girls. Very few girls attend schools. Even in sports and different activities, you will not see girls attending. Why? Because families force them to stay at home and do the household chores. They are not allowed to go out, they are not allowed to get educated. Encouraging women is not something that is widely practiced in India. Important thing, parents of a girl child need to encourage their girl child. They have to be educated so that when they become mothers, they are a good role model to their children. They know how to feed their kids, they know everything. So it's important that we encourage more and more girls to get educated. As you can see the word, you can see children in jail from the picture. Juvenile delinquency. What is this? What does this mean? What does this term mean? Any children for men below the age of 16 and for females below the age of 18 is caught under any crime is called juvenile delinquency, the violation of the law by young people. What are the such behaviors that are considered delinquent? First is forgery. Forgery is unlawful, maybe black money or signing false papers, etc. Second is stealing money, food, etc. Drug addiction and drug peddling also, making money out of drug peddling. Violence against them, suicide, sex crimes like rape, all these things come under delinquent behaviors. What are certain causes of juvenile delinquency? First and foremost is poverty. The need for food, the need for comfort, the need for facilities leads the children to start with stealing, robbery, etc. And parents don't stop it sometimes. It gets even generational. Second is getting into pure bad company like drug addiction, stealing, drug peddling, etc. because of the peers. The family does not take care at that moment, and that's because of that such crimes happen. Third one is a very big one. It's a big problem in India. The media, what the media is showing. Children copy that. If they're seeing that a boy is beating a girl, the same thing they'll do. If they're seeing Eve teasing on TV, the same thing they'll do. And that's the crime they do. So media is showcasing a lot of delinquency. Fourth is regular fights between parents or domestic violence in the house that leads to children getting scared of these fights, etc., and becoming insecure about it, and then in turn doing the same kind of crimes that they see in the family. All these causes that you heard of, it could be due to poverty, etc. We all feel bad about it. There are certain remedial and preventive measures. First and foremost is there should be poverty elevation programs for children. If government has to take the onus of providing such schemes to children that they can get into good company, get educated, get skilled, etc. Get into voluntary organizations. Second is parents. It's very important that parents must spend time with their children. They discuss their differences, they discuss what their habits are, and learn to respect, teach them respect, teach them discipline, teach them punctuality. If parents take care of their children like that, children will never get into anything that is a wrong behavior, that's a criminal behavior, rather than letting them be on their own, which leads to such practices. So it's important that the relationship is made better. It's very important that providing recreational facilities to young people, providing them a good laugh, sharing stories, experiences with them so that they feel connected to their family. So that's also very important. Now let's discuss about child labor. What is child labor? Someone who's below the age of 14 and is engaged in a work to earn a living. There's so much of child labor in India. Let's discuss it more. Why child labor is happening? What are the causes of child labor? Most of all, orphan children, abandoned children, or rejected children have to undergo child labor to survive. Sometimes ignorance of parents, they have to feed their families also sometimes, illiterate parents. They throw away their children for beggary, or getting under the influence of bad company. That's also happening. A lot of companies, they want to have younger children because these children 14 below, they have nibble fingers compared to the ones who are adults. They can do craft work easily and they have a keen eyesight. So a lot of companies, get children like that and they make them work for 12 to 16 hours in one single position. So children, that is why child labor happens. Children do not complain. They want cheap, silent and uncomplaining labor. That's why also they are working so much. So companies are also at fault here. Sometimes they also become, disabled because of being in harmful and such conditions, in such bodily positions that they can get disabled. Working in factories, etc. is dangerous for children, but they're still pushed to do all of this. They don't know what they're doing. And this also is a secret business here. That's also a very big problem. And poverty. Poverty is also a very big problem. Disability is one thing, and working in such unhygienic conditions like factories, industries, etc. can often lead to infectious diseases, and it's a dangerous situation to work in. And they miss schooling. It's been found out, due to their missing schooling and they are, dropping out of school. The illiteracy rate of the country is increasing because of that. Because they are missing schooling and the country is becoming more and more illiterate. How can we deal with such problems of child labor? Yes, there are solutions. The government can provide funding. If the children are not able to pay their fees, provide them with free schooling. As you can see in the picture, non-formal education can also be practiced. They don't have to work every day. They can only support their families sometimes, not every day. It's important that the children get educated first. If they are working, they will never get interest in education because something that's paying them will feel better off. But it's important that we encourage education. It's important to educate parents so that they can realize the negative consequences of child labor. It's important to counsel the parents and then they can encourage their children to educate their children. Third is to provide medical facilities and arrange health checkups, etc. for children. So the part 1 has been completed. Now let's begin part 2. Thank you.